Elections are coming up soon in November, the 4th of November. And we just had voter registration, or we are having voter registration weekend. I'm not sure if everyone's gone and registered, updated the address and all the rest. There's local elections, so you have to vote at the voting station where you are registered. So please make sure you're up to date. I wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that we're contesting elections and why, and also where we're contesting. So if my memory is correct, we are now contesting 40 municipalities, 7 of which are metros, the rest are local municipalities in all 9 provinces, which is a first, huge improvement from the 2021 local elections. And yeah, I think a lot of people also sometimes get confused between local government elections as well as national elections. National elections was in 2024. You're voting for parliament, and I was about to say the president. No, not yet. In the future system, you're basically voting for who represents you in parliament, which party represents you in parliament. In the local government elections, which also happens every 5 years, first in 2021, now in 2026, you are voting for who makes up your local municipal council. Very different. And National Assembly and municipal councils, they have very different responsibilities. And it's important you know what the responsibilities are so you know what you can and cannot demand from your councillor or council. And so what we are doing is contesting 40 municipalities. It's much more than the previous elections, like I said. I think we only contested, my numbers, 15? Somewhere around there. Now it's a lot more. And that's very exciting. I'll put the list in the description. Maybe I'll get it up quickly. No, I'll put the list in the description so that you can see if we will be on the ballot in your municipality. So very sadly, it really pulls on my heartstrings that we won't be on every ballot all over South Africa. And why does it pull on my heartstrings? Because in 2024, we didn't get enough votes to get a seat in 2024. And that's fine. On the bright side, we got at least a single vote in every municipality except 4, if I'm not mistaken, and most of which are in the Northern Cape. So I think that it actually speaks to OHM's success in resonating with people across the country. And it's just sad that many of you probably won't be able to vote for OHM if we're not on your ballot. If you want to be able to vote for OHM, all we need is a candidate. So in order to be a candidate, I mean, if you want to volunteer, let us know, contact us. We'll need your ID number, your name, and you need to have a clean public record. And that is pretty much it, and also be an OHM member, and that will allow us to expand our reach during the municipal elections, which will be wonderful. However, for now, it's 40 municipalities. So we'll put where we're contesting in the description. It is on Facebook as well. Why are we contesting? So this is an interesting one. Do we expect to win an entire municipality, become a majority in any of the municipalities? No, we do not. Do we expect to be able to win enough seats to push a mayoral candidate forward? No, we do not. Do we expect to get a seat in all 40 municipalities we are contesting? No, not really, unless something is radically changed over the next 5 months. Could we get a seat in 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 municipalities? It's not impossible, and we're working on it. But if we're only getting 1 seat in a couple of municipalities at best, why even bother contesting at all? There are a number of reasons. The first reason is purely mobilizational. Is that even a word? But it's almost practice. Municipal structures are great for providing a framework of grassroots civic action. So it helps us to gauge the readiness of people to take control of their futures. The other reason is that every time someone votes for OHM, you are not voting for the established rulers in our current municipal councils. So it's a no vote. It's a rebellious vote. It's a vote against the system, using the system, because we all know that if you don't vote, you still end up getting ruled by the minority of voters, because people who do vote for specific parties, those percentages of specific parties are a minority of the population. So you end up being ruled anyway, even though you chose not to partake of voting in the system. There's no real loophole or exit out of the system. So you what? Spiting your nose to save your face, or whatever the saying goes. Help me in the comments. What's the actual saying? So when you vote for Ohm, it's a rebellious vote. It's a vote against established parties. And I think that is so important. But then if we do get a seat, firstly, our councillors will do the job they're supposed to in terms of communicating with you. You know that they will abide by Ohm's 6 principles at the very least. You know that they might not have enough votes between them, if there's 1 or 2 or 3, to completely change what's voted for in council itself, but they can at least communicate with you. And that's going to be one of the most important things, the transparency. And it's almost like having someone on the inside to tell you how things work and what's happening. And honestly, I would really love if our candidates become councillors, to go through that experience and then be able to tell the citizens back how crooked and messed up the system is and why it needs to change, not just from hearing it from me or seeing it on the news, but actually experiencing it in real life, in real time, seeing how political interests stunt municipal progress. And that is a common story and a common thread throughout municipalities. So those are the main reasons why we are contesting. And we would love for you to think about voting for Ohm. It's not too late to change your address and register. And I know I was always someone that hated doing anything that seemed conformist. Voting certainly seems conformist. You're standing in a queue, you have to produce your ID, you have to do the same little ritual everyone else does. It seems very conformist. However, we cannot get our country to progress by abstaining from a system that doesn't care about those who don't vote. So hopefully more and more people will realize the importance of voting, and hopefully we can also add more municipalities. On that note, it costs quite a lot of money to contest. It used to be 3,000 Rand per metro, 1,000 Rand per local, and 1,000 Rand per district municipality. Now the IEC has gazetted a change in the fees, or I hope I remember correctly, it's 4,600 or 4,700 for metros and 2,800 for locals. So that has really pushed the cost up remarkably. We have raised over 50% of what we need to contest the 40 elections. We need to raise the rest and more if we add municipalities. And that's not even campaigning, that's contesting fees. So one can argue, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing that the fees have risen? On one hand, it makes it harder for newcomers to participate in democratic processes and that's a negative. That actually is a negative. It's not a bad thing that we have a lot of parties, not at all. I've discussed that before, and hopefully that's been established in people's minds to a degree, that it's not a bad thing. We want consumer choice, don't we? We want choices. As long as they, not represented, they're not harming you. They're just a voice in their communities, and if they get enough support, they will be able to contest. And that's the other thing. Higher prices, contesting fees, that is, means that those who actually do reach that level of funding has some degree of support that's worth taking note of. So it's a good filter and a good barrier. And in the system that we created, independent candidates will also have to collect signatures and raise funds to contest. And on that note, yes, we'll put in the description, I'll put our banking details as well. We are looking for donations, small donations, 10 rands, 20 rands, 50 rands, it doesn't really matter. We really want to reach the goal of having the contesting fees by the end of June, which is in 10 days, so that we can focus next on campaigning. Because also, we only run on volunteers. We can only do so much every day. So we would really love to be able to move on from knowing we've secured the contesting fees to actual campaigning in all the municipalities. We have candidates, and that's going to be very exciting. Also, if you want to be a volunteer during voting registration, not voting registration, on voting day at the voting table, or actually observing the counting process, I think that's actually more important. Also, let us know in the comments. So I'd love to hear from you. What are your plans in November? On the 4th of November, are you going to vote? Are you going to abstain? Do you know who you're voting for? Do you feel like there's an option? Do you feel like it makes a difference or not? I'd love to hear your thoughts.